Hey there, guys. This is gonna be a little something different than what the normal videos will be about. But there's something that's been bothering me for a little while, and um, it's something that I just remembered, that I wanted to talk about, and that is fan art and cosplay. And it's not the actual art of fan art and cosplay, because I love seeing those things, doing those things myself. I love being a part of that group. But there's something that's really been bothering me about not those two things in general, but how the mangaka and artists create those characters that people love and enjoy. Now, I enjoy a lot of different manga and anime and other nerdy stuff. And there's just something about it that I wanted to bring up, and I was going to talk about it while I arted myself. And you'll be able to hear me. When I start drawing, I instantly just start to zone out, and it makes it kind of impossible to listen to me sometimes. But I know, just bear with me, and hopefully I can, keep on track with what I'm saying while multitasking and drawing stuff of my own. So, let's see if she can do it. Which might be a new channel thing. We'll have to see. Whoops. Let's erase just what I did not want, and then we'll move on. So far this is my panel, and I will be working on line art. So what I wanted to talk about was that I noticed a long time ago that I didn't like how some women and now some men were portrayed in media. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about movies too, but this topic's mostly about comics and whatnot. What I'm talking about mostly is a woman's outfit. How unrealistic they are, and how manga artists just don't seem to understand how women work. Even women manga artists they just don't make these outfits realistic. And as an aspiring manga artist myself, I understand that when an artist is doing those things, they're not thinking about how realistic something can be. Like when they're trying to create a character, they're not saying like she lives in a desert. There we go. So when you think of a person living in a desert, let's say this is not what I'm supposed to be drawing, but really bad sketch. Let's say she lives in a desert. You would think that she'd wear thick clothes because she wants to keep the sunlight off of her, and she wants to wear like a mask for keeping the sand out, and a hood for keeping the sun off her neck. No, an artist will not draw that. Instead, we're going to put her in the most skimpiest bikini and maybe give her some arm highs or some elbow highs to wear, and a cute necklace that's cute, and maybe, I don't know, some hair stuff. They're going to make her as cosplay friendly as possible. And I know that's no other reason than to get the teenage men crowd in their midst. And that of all things bothers me the most. I think what I'm trying to say is that they're not accurate with their representation of women. And I know I'm no different than that, because who has hair like this? Seriously? No one in the world has hair like this, where it just curls at the end and it's that color red, and who has bangs like that? But that is as unrealistic as I get. Now this comic is about non-realistic things. Like, these characters are from a story that these characters are creating. So these characters are supposed to be as realistic as possible, with these characters falling into the lines of that whatever they wanted. So that's my excuse. But the characters that I'm talking about the most, and I know I'm not going to receive a lot of positive feedback from this, but the character that I am mostly referring to, if you haven't caught it already, is a character from an anime that I tried out and didn't like, because my sister, she was obsessed with it for a little bit, and I was like, you know what, she's got to be obsessed with it for a reason, so I'll try and watch it, and it was just not my thing, and that is, well, this is not a very good drawing because I didn't watch it and I'm drawing this from memory, but her name was, I think it was Yoko? But yeah, she's got a skimpy ass bikini and with flames, and she's got these arm highs, and down there she's got skimpy shorts and a belt and thigh highs and boots. Like, she's it's just not at all realistic for what she would supposed to be wearing in the rest of the show. And I would not be hating on this design if the other characters were dressed like this, but it's only the main characters that are atrociously dressed. Like, everyone else is wearing normal ass clothing, and she's the only one that is dressed as that female. She's dressed that way, and I know it's because they wanted to get people from a certain age group interested, and I hate that. I hate that so much. It's just a marketing tool. And like reading Bakuman, they actually tell you like how to go about getting a wider number of people to read your stuff. And that's the ultimate goal of any artist, is to try and reach as many people as possible. I'm not actually drawing, so I should probably start doing that. Sorry about the numbers that pop up in the middle of my screen. My tablet has these buttons on the side that kind of makes them come up, and like up here at the top that I hardly ever goes, they just start popping up. So I apologize for that. That happens. When it comes for an artist being in a magazine, they try to get as many people to read their stuff as possible. And I understand that that's the ultimate goal, is to have as many people as possible read your stuff. And I guess my battery is going out in my stylus because it is glitchy. When a magazine only cares about how many people read it and not about the actual artwork, they put the artwork second, and they just come up with excuses saying, oh, well, it's the artist's fault that they can't provide exactly what they're told to provide, and it's not anything like, it's their dream, so they should be able to provide what they want to provide. And if they don't like the work that they're providing, they just need to, it makes them a better artist to draw something that they don't want to draw. And I halfway agree with that. I mean, it's great that they can get a wide pool of experience, and that they can draw from that experience, and it's great that they can have a bigger pool to pull from. And because I am one of those artists that have a horrible time drawing another person's style and stuff like that, but I disagree that you should force yourself to do something you don't want to do. And that's not going with just artwork, that's going with everything. And if an artist cannot stand what they're drawing, the quality of their artwork is going to go down too. I know this from experience from drawing, unfortunately from drawing for commissions, but can't draw, sure, okay. So when an artist draws something that they don't want to draw, their art deteriorates because of it. And I think that if an artist truly feels that they can't provide what is asked for, then that shouldn't be held against them, other than, saying, well, don't do it. So, back to the original topic. when a magazine asks a character to be drawn more sexy or attractive or hot or appealing, and their original character design is not that on purpose, I think you should let the artist do what they were originally going to do, because the character is designed that way for a reason. If the only reason that a certain character is wearing a bikini or something of the like, to be sexy, is that if that's their only reason to be wearing that, then that's not a good enough reason. All of what they do should have a reason, and I have that same viewpoint when it comes to storytelling too. Like, for example, character deaths. A character shouldn't die unless it does something to the story. That's why I gotta like Game of Thrones so much, is that every death in that book starts with another happenstance. Like, Ned Stark dying was because he was too stubborn. He was too stubborn to take Renly's offer to, undercut Cersei while Robert was still alive, and he was too proud to go behind her back, that he went instead, and he went literally in front of her and told her, hey, I'm going to betray you because I think you're wrong. I know what you're doing. And she's like, okay, well, now that you've told me, I'm not going to be the better person because I'm queen and I want to stay queen. And I'm going to go ahead and kill your ass. Even though, she didn't originally intend to kill him. That was all Joffrey's fault. So, that's why I like Game of Thrones, is because it's all the deaths are for a reason, and they all have a purpose, and like even the Red Wedding and all that stuff, like it's war, and it has to be explained how he's explaining it. And even though I think George R.R. Martin is a huge nerd himself, I'm like, if you've ever listened to him in an interview, he sounds like a huge dork. Talking about a fandom that he created himself, and I probably would be the same way. God, this hair. But I really have a lot of respect for him, and I would like to be able to create a story like that one day myself. Another thing that I want to mention, and again, that's probably not going to give me a lot of likes or anything, but I stopped reading Harry Potter because a lot of the stuff that was happening in there was unnecessary. And I bet a person who is a Potterhead, they could probably explain to me why each and every death was a necessity for the book, but I didn't see it that way. That's just my personal opinion, and to each their own, I believe. So please don't come hunt me down and explain why Fred and George had to happen the way they happened. Back to the cosplay, because I like to derail my stories sometimes. The whole reason that I dislike it when a person draws something, I mean, it should be pretty obvious why I don't like it. Like, how can anybody approve of that method? And I'm not just talking about that for the magazine companies, but also the fans. The fans are okay with this. They're okay with a character looking the way they do without questioning it at all. And I mean, that really bothers me, that they're like, oh, this character lives out in a desert. It's totally okay that she's wearing a bikini and carrying this huge ass weapon that is totally unrealistic. And another one of my arguments was just kind of backfiring on me, is that I think that, an artist should be able to draw what they want to draw, and they should, like, if they want to draw a woman in a bikini who lives in the desert just because they think it's hot, I mean, that's okay. It's still not a good enough reason for me, but if they want to do that, again, to each their own. But in the end, I think if you don't have a good enough reason, then don't do it. If the artist thinks, I don't want to draw this because it's unrealistic, and who would be wearing a bikini out in the middle of the desert when they live there? I mean, it's sand, but if that's the only reason that you're drawing that character wearing that outfit, then that's not a good enough reason. You need to have a good enough reason, I reiterate, to have a woman who's lived out in a desert all her life, well, not all her life, but who's lived out in a desert. I'm sure it's explained at some point in time in the story why she's dressed like that, and I'm just being a complete bumbling idiot that I don't understand, but at the same time, I have a feeling that it wasn't. I have a really strong feeling that it wasn't, that her outfit was just cast aside as happenstance. And once again, that is not a good enough reason for me. So if you like a character to look that way, if the artist likes a character to look that way, if you really have no problem with the happenstance that a girl is wearing a bikini in the middle of this wilderness, and no one else happens to look like that with the same designs, except for the other two main characters, then there's like literally no reason she should be wearing it. But if you're okay with that, then I guess it's okay. Which is, I know that's weird, but it's just like I won't be comfortable with it until it has explanation for it. Which is why I'm okay with Shingeki no Kyojin. I refuse to call it Attack on Titan. That's improper grammar. It's an improper translation, and I just don't like it. But anyway, in Shingeki no Kyojin, their outfits are completely unrealistic to our realism, but to their world, I mean, it's their uniform, so it's something that every single one of them wears. And even though it doesn't really make sense in our world, it makes sense in theirs. And like the main character and the non-main characters are literally wearing the same thing. And I cannot be mad about that. I think that that is actually really good consistency, and it's an artistic move that I can admire. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you don't have an explanation at all, I'm hitting my hand against the tablet and you can't see it. So it's like, if you can't have an explanation at all, then if you don't have an explanation for why you drew a character that way, then I just don't think you should draw it that way. And I kind of have an explanation for all of my characters. I say kind of because I haven't given it much thought. I've never explained it out loud. I just have it, like why Mandy has those open off-shoulder shirts like that. It's not only to make her sexier to herself, but also it's because of her background. She used to be a plump, I'm kind of spoiling my own story for you guys, but she used to be a plump and nerdy, quiet recluse who always wore hoodies and dark colors, and she wanted to dye her hair funky, but she didn't have the confidence to do it, and she didn't have lip piercings or ear piercings or anything. And one day, she hit rock bottom, and her parents were like, you know what, Mandy, you need to change. So they went shopping with her, got her clothing that would make her feel a little more, make her feel a little more pleasing to herself, not to the world around her, but to herself. They let her dye her hair, or bleach it rather, because she hasn't got the balls to dye it yet. She's gonna dye it blue one day. And then they asked her if she wanted the cutoff, and she's like, I guess it's kind of revealing, but would you guys really be okay with that? And they're like, Mandy, listen, it's not what other people think about what you look like. It's what you think you look like. And if you want to wear a cutoff, then you, by damn it, go ahead and do it. That's a thumbs up if you can't tell. So she started dressing like this, and it built up her confidence because she thought she herself was more attractive this way than how she looked when she was 17. So that's the explanation for my character and why that's how she looks. It's like, see, all of my characters have a reason for looking the way they look, and I think that that is important first and foremost when it comes to character design when you draw a character. The moral of the story that I am telling is that if you don't have a good enough reason to do a certain thing with your character, then don't do it, because otherwise you're going to have to explain it and you'll have no explanation. So I would like to pose the question. That's my phone. I would like to pose a question. If a character looks that way, why do they look that way? And if they can't give an answer other than, I think it makes them look sexy, then you're going to have to rethink your reasoning. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I can be proven wrong in the comments. I don't mind, but please be nice. I am trying not to be ignorant, but sometimes I need educated, and I'll probably look into this later and find the answers myself before anyone even comments. mostly because I'm really curious. Like, is there a reason that she is dressed that way? And I'm not hating on it. I'm just posing a question of why that particular character looks the way she looks, and I'm not trying to hate on it. And I'm not trying to like rip apart the fabric of the story. But hi Max. I am just honestly trying to figure out why a character like that looks that way. And if it can be explained to me, again, in the comments, then I will be happy for it. I will be better for it. And if not, maybe it's something that you guys can think about and come back to me later. Maybe she just wants to be a little sexy, or maybe maybe it's something that she has from a clan that she just came from, or maybe it's the outfits that they wore in their vault. I can't remember the proper title for it, their cave or whatever. But if you can explain it to me, that would be great. If you can't, then it's something to think about. If you have something that you want to add to that, if you have something that you want to talk to me about when it comes to that, then I will listen and I will try to understand your reasoning, and I will try to see it from your point of view, as I like to try to do with everything. So please comment below and we will move on from this topic. But yeah, that's also this is also my webcomic. Let's see if I can write it down here for you real quick. The Tavern Club. It updates every Saturday, so a day before the the videos will start coming out. This is my webcomic. The actual hardback will be coming out this year because I'm going to try and actually print it out once chapter 4 is finished. And that will come out with sketches and character designs that you actually just saw. That'll be put into the webcomic, so you can see the character designs of every one of these characters and their original, their first doodles, because they look a lot different than they did originally. But yeah, these guys are gonna excuse me. Sorry, my voice is shot from jujitsu yesterday. But yeah, these characters looked a lot different when I first created them. So if you want to see what they looked like then and what they look like now and compare the two, then please buy it when it comes out. Otherwise, you're going to leave me a poor, starving artist once again, and I will fall into the stereotype. But anyway, please look it up. I think it's very interesting. It's about people gaming for the first time. She's obviously the nerdy one that started this whole thing, but he is a jock who's never played before. Let me see if I can find a better picture of him for you. There we go. This is Tim, and he is the jock. He is he's mostly a soccer guy, but he plays football, tennis, and pretty much anything else he can find time for on the school campus. Sorry about those numbers again. I hate it when my tablet does that. So this is Susan. She's a cheerleader who has a secret fetish for creative stuff, so that's why she's here. I'm going to expand on these characters a little bit more on Volume 2, along with their game characters, which are these guys. Let me see where they will be. Here we go. This is a page with everyone. Okay, so this is Hugo and Steve the Beautiful and Miranda, and I love these characters pretty much. It's funny because I love the fantasy characters more than I like the other fantasy characters. Whoops. So, like, I would like for you guys to read it, but if you don't like fantasy stuff, then why are you on my channel? Because that's pretty much all it's going to be. But anyway, please check it out. It's really funny. It's really good. It's really creative. And I think I am pretty good with it. So please check it out. If you want to keep watching for more artwork, feel free to, because I will try to put artwork up here as much as possible. That's not the goal of this vlog. The goal of this vlog is to just share my life with the rest of the world because I think I'm interesting. And I think my husband is interesting, and I think what we do on a daily basis is interesting. And it's kind of the inside the life of a vlogger, inside the life of an artist and a video editor, which is also what I do, and stuff like that. So please continue to watch. That's my chair. I have a very old chair. But please continue to watch, and if you have anything that you want to add, if you have anything that you want to comment on, please, please, please do so. Last thing. I also have, Tavern Club is something that I do on a regular basis, but I also do videos. I've got to plug this as much as possible because I am also a part of this. I am part of the Dwarven Tavern, for which that is named. Because the Dwarven Tavern is something that I've been working on since I was a wee lad. Wee lass. That's 1 inch. That's 1 inch. Inch. There we go. Okay, that's how tall I was when I was a baby. I was 1 inch tall. But I've been part of the Dwarven Tavern since I was 1 year old. And it is something that I base my webcomic off of. It's Mandy. Her favorite artist is my father. As an artist, I'm a musician, and her favorite music is my dad's music. That's both because I wanted to plug his music, and also because I think that she's the type of person who would like my dad's music. But other words, other words is anyway for lyric, apparently, but that's not right. So anyway, the Dwarven Tavern, go, go, go! You will see me in other videos and other vlogs and participating in group gaming, and it's where all the fantasy stuff that we do, and it's really, really cool, and I will be part of it more, and so will Josh, and we will be there, so check it out, because it's awesome! But if not, that's cool too, and I realize that you just don't like us. So please check out the Dwarven Tavern. It's all about gaming, it's all about fantasy stuff, and it's all about family. So family and gaming and fantasy, when you put it all together, what do you get? The Dwarven Tavern Goins family. And Josh, because he's not a Goins. Well, he is, but that's not his name. So please check it out. Please check out the Tavern Club. And if you want to continue watching this stuff, just stay tuned. Subscribe to this channel, and it will be posted as frequently as possible. Maybe I'll continue this page in a different video. Maybe it'll be done and you'll be watching a different page. So, if you want to actually request that I draw for you guys, I would be okay with doing that too. So go ahead, like, subscribe, and wait for more videos. Yay! Da, 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 da.